Hey, Professor, just going to be going over the 10 sources I found while doing my research. Um, just to give you some context, the topic of my essay is going to be going into a casino and how to have a good night as opposed to a bad night, and kind of finding the middle ground between not gambling and being a gambling addict. So, number one here, we got 13 Ways to Gamble Smart. This is a website by Michael Bluejay I found. This one just kind of talks about, the pros of gambling. Like I said, half my essay is going to be about going into a casino and having a good night. So this kind of gives me some info on what that looks like, the stuff you can do to not lose as much money as the other guy. So number two, legalize gambling, for and against. This is actually a book I found. It's by Mark Hans and Rod L. Evans. Right here. I haven't read all of it, obviously, but parts I have read, like part two, excessive gambling, a moral or a medical problem. This is kind of a darker topic on gambling, but it's going to be important just because it's going to be like half of my essay. It also gave me ties to this guy, Henry Lazoir. I don't know how to say that, but he has a journal of gambling studies, and I looked that up, and it's got some useful information on it. So I use that for one of my other sources. Number three, usage of a responsible gambling tool, descriptive analysis, latent analysis of the user behavior. This is like the stuff that leads up to a gambling addiction. You don't go to a casino and the next day you're a gambling addict. So this kind of gives me an idea of what that looks like. And the second part of this journal was like some of the good parts of gambling, so I can use that as well. Four here, Gambling, edited by Robert D. Herman. That is another book I found. Some of the stuff in here is, like in part three, we got gambling as a pathology. Kind of goes into the more like psychological part of gambling, which is a big part of it and something I have to talk about in my essay. So we're definitely going to use that. And it's got lots of other information. I just have to look at it. So five, clinical features of a pathological gambling and an addictions treatment cohort. This is talking about, once you've identified that you're addicted to gambling, the next steps. And that's something I'm going to talk about in my essay as well, because given that my main audience is people that they go to a casino enough to possibly be addicted. So this will, just give some helpful tips. And I'm also going to link this to a brochure that I got at my work. They have them in the bathrooms, and I had to sneakily take one, so no one questions if I'm addicted to gambling. But that talks about, again, what to do if you think that you're struggling with that. So next one is Familiarize Yourself with These seven Gambling Statistics by Randy Ray. This is just simple facts that I can use to kind of draw my audience in. It's not too complicated, just stuff that I can put as a hook, or just kind of drop in just to give some like wow moments, keep them entertained. Next one, Gambling, Wakanda Andrew. That's another book I found here. This book has been really helpful just because it's just compiled articles and journals of people who did studies on gambling. Like number one is compulsive gambling a disease? That's not super fun, but it's something I got to talk about in my essay because compulsive gambling, it's a real issue, and that's going to be in the second half, just the darker parts of going to a casino and what a really bad night looks like. So next we got a journal here, Motivational Profiles of Gambling Behavior, Self-Determination Theory, Gambling Motives, and Gambling Behavior. This kind of talks about like why a person would want to go to a casino in the first place, and then once they get there, I kind of wrote it down here, but like once they get there, why they want to keep betting. You would think that they'd want to stop betting and stop losing money, but what's going on in their brain that makes them okay with losing all that money? Science behind casino profits. This kind of goes deep into what gets a player to keep playing, kind of like the last source. And then it also talks about, even if the player wins, why a casino still wins. It's so like, every 50 cents they bet, they get 10 cents back, something like that. Let's see, Setting Limits, Gambling Science and Public Policy. This, let's see, what do we got? Talks about gambling and how it can affect how it can affect the people around the gambler. It doesn't just affect the person that's laying down the money. It can affect, relationships with your family, with your friends, and then also stuff you can lose, like your house, your apartment, stuff like that. So, that's all we got here. That's all we got here. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in class tomorrow. Bye.